Nick Simon's story is that of a family man who rose to the top of a family business. After the Louisville native graduated from St. X High School and Northwestern University, he followed in the footsteps of many previous generations by beginning his lifelong career with Publishers Printing, a company founded by his great-great-grandfather in 1866.
I worked here in the summers in high school and college and really enjoyed it. Enjoyed working with the people, learned a lot. I got out of college in 1981. I got to work with my father for 9 years before he passed away, and I really learned a whole lot. I think I got an MBA from Frank Simon. He was pretty sharp, and he's been gone 23 years now, and I look back at some things he said, and it was, he still helped me out a lot.
Originally headquartered in Louisville, the company relocated to Shepherdsville in 1958. And throughout the last half century, the family aspect of the business has expanded to include not just the owners, but many of its longtime employees as well. We've
been out here in Shepherdsville for I guess about 55 years now, and we've got some third generation people working for us, where the grandkids of people that worked for us back in the 50s and 60s are working for us now. So that's kind of fun.
Clearly, Publishers Printing is important to Shepherdsville and Bullitt County as an employer. But that aspect of the relationship is just the tip of the iceberg.
The partnership between the company and the community is probably unique. They're the largest employer. They are very great stewards. They're very responsible. If the city or the county needs something, if Shepherdsville, Bullitt County needs something, they just give it to them. And so it's been a very, very unique thing. It's very old-fashioned, very rewarding, and very loving to watch.
Running a business with the size and scope of Publishers Printing would be more than enough to occupy most people. But when he's not engaged in the day-to-day operation of his own business, he can usually be found in the pursuit of helping others, either through a service on various boards, such as those for Assumption High School, the Louisville Library Foundation, and the Governor's Scholars Program, just to name a few, or his generous charitable giving.
His own business keeps him very busy, but he's involved in many charities. He's involved in the bank board. He'll drop anything for us when we call on him to help us with something at the bank. But Nick, he kind of always has that on button. There is no off button for Nick Simon.
You know, many people have the capacity to help others, but they don't always exercise that capacity. So I'm not sure if maybe Nick would say it was the blessing of his family and his faith and their generosity, but I will say this, that he's a very thankful person. And when I see gratitude, and I see the joy that comes from that gratitude, I often see great generosity. And that's what you see in Nick Simon.
He is Mr. Bullitt County. You go out there and the things that he's done, every single civic project in Bullitt County has Publishers Printing and Nick Simon, the Simon family, on it in some way. Then you look at his employees and the types of jobs he has, these press jobs and things, and the amount of jobs that he's created at his plants in Bullitt County is tremendous, and those are good paying jobs, so he's helped those families. And then you come along and you take the third stool and you take the charities that have benefited from the successes of the company. You know, he is truly what this Hall of Fame award is about.
One unique puzzle facing anyone involved in the business of printing is figuring out how to adapt in a digital world where the printed word is supposedly losing its importance. But under Nick Simon, Publishers Printing is finding ways not only to survive, but thrive.
The printing business has changed enormously over the last 20 years, and they've made the changes with it. And interestingly enough, they made those changes and kept many of the employees. They didn't outgrow their employees. So that's a real tribute to the fact that they brought them along with them. They didn't replace them.
3 years ago, we started a label and packaging sector. We call it Distinct Packabilities. This year, we'll do probably $3 to $4 million in labels and packaging. Have about 35 employees in that sector. We've done some work for Heaven Hill. We've done some work for some of the people in Louisville, the coffee people, the tea people, Bigelow Tea. That's an area that you won't see the internet. You can't take a cracker label and you can't put that on the internet. There's no app for that. So I think we're going to try to really work on consumer products and beverages labels and try to grow that part of the business. We'd love to see that business being a $15, $20 million business here in 5 years.
Unlike so many business successes, ego takes a back seat in Nick Simon's world. He values his company, but also the people who help make it succeed. He strives to serve the people and organizations of his community, but not to be idolized by them. It's a view of the world that's as refreshing as it is rare. And everyone who crosses his path is much better for having had the encounter.
He's a very, very nice man. He's just overarching. I think most people would say he's a very, very nice man. It's been a real privilege to know him and to watch him step into the shoes of his father and do great things with the business.
You know, Nick is brutally honest and very refreshing in a world where most people measure every word they say. It is so refreshing to have a guy like Nick Simon who just tells you the way it is, and you know he backs it up with his actions. He's just a great guy.
When he is asked to do something, and when he feels in his heart that this is a cause that resonates, there's no stopping Nick Simon. So he's a wonderful, wonderful example and image. I'm not for cloning, human cloning, but I am for cloning Nick Simon.